These two wonders are the baddest Fords you can buy. They're the newest pair to spring from the mind of Steve Saleen.
We are on the way to Mustang Lifestyle / Freedom Parts Outlet. Going to see Andrew to get the tune even more dialed in on the Saleen. As you know, in one of the previous videos, we did 360 wheel horsepower and 388 pound-feet of torque, and that was really good, but we had some power left on the table because it was running a little rich. And so today we're going to try and fix that up, clean it up a little bit, get the air-fuel dialed in, and then maybe sprinkle in a degree of timing or so, see if we can't hit that 400 horsepower number. Now, we won't be hitting the dyno in this video. That'll actually be in an upcoming one soon. So we're gonna keep it pretty conservative, and it's already really conservative now, but we're gonna, like I said, number one, first lean it out just a little bit. We're gonna target 11.8 throughout the whole rev range until about, I think, 4,500 or 5 grand, when it riches up just a tad to 11.6. That's when we're hitting peak boost. And then we'll go from there. We'll see how much timing we want to add. We'll see how much is in it right now. Like I said, I believe it's 16 is what we had it set to before. Number one thing is we definitely want to get that fueling dialed in a little bit more, and just make sure it's safe. If we don't hit the 400 number safely, it's not a big deal to me. At this point, I just want to get this tune really dialed in for this torque tech inlet, because it's not 100% right now. And then just drive it and enjoy it. Start taking it to shows, start taking it to meets and all that, and hopefully not have to worry about things going wrong. So, knock on wood, and unfortunately there's no wood in here. This drive has been going pretty well so far. We're about 60 miles in. We're about 15 miles away from Andrew now. So, go ahead and fast forward to when I'm pulling up at Mustang Lifestyle HQ. Sure got dark fast. In fact, I just talked to y'all 20 minutes ago, and it's almost nighttime already. It's only 5:40. It's just crazy. And now we get to go through the minefield that is the gravel road, and hope that we don't scrape the ever-living crap out of everything, which I'm sure something is going to get scraped. Mufflers most likely, but what I'm more worried about is my rear bumper getting hit by my big old rear tire. So we're just gonna take this one nice and easy. Probably burn the clutch up in the process, but you know, it'll buff. It's dark as hell out here now. It's pitch black. Andrew made some changes to the tune. We've been messing with it for a little bit. Yeah, we're just gonna get some data. Exactly. So we'll see what the car does. And this is your first time driving it, so what do you think?
I mean, it feels like, you know, like this fully tuned Cobra, like Blake's car,
right?
Torque Tech. It feels very, very similar.
Okay.
To be fair though, I don't usually get a good feel for power when I'm doing that, because I'm focusing on driving, watching the AFR, but also holding the camera still.
And not dying at the same time.
Yeah, that's that one too, yeah.
Andrew, what do we do to it?
Pull a little fuel out, see if we can get her just kind of a little bit happier.
See what she does. We're still targeting 11.8 for
11, yeah, 11.7 is usually kind of the target. Anywhere from 11.7 to 12.0.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even in the early 11s sometimes is fine.
Okay. But we had it in the high 10, so that was definitely too much.
That's still a safe.
Right.
It's just super safe. It's just not going to make a ton of power. And I think you saw it on the dyno graph. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of where it was just like, I got too much fuel.
Right.
I want less. A little bit more fuel.
It needs a little more?
Yeah.
Okay.
I pulled too much out. So it looks like actually probably make a lot of power on 12.2, but it's a lot of heat.
Yeah, it's a little sketch.
Well, yeah, I mean, it probably wouldn't blow up necessarily there, but
Right.
it's not.
How long would it last like that though?
It wouldn't last.
It wouldn't.
Forever,
It hit that number. It hit a nice number one time and start going downhill.
That's why we're lifting early. We're
Right.
We're gonna make that change. Basically, so we were at 10.9, 11.0 mostly, 11.2. Now we're at kind of like 1 point higher.
Right.
So I'm just gonna go half the difference of all the changes I made, and we'll be set.
Cool. So one of the issues it's having right now is we think that either we've got some bad O2 sensors or we've got them backwards on the wrong side somehow.
It just does like kind of this funky dance of one bank is like, yo, I'm way too rich, so it's taking all the fuel out, and the other bank is like, I'm way too lean, so it's putting all the fuel in.
Right.
And you're seeing them kind of like bounce, you know, back and forth. Is this where this one? So you're seeing the bounce, and they're kind of like correcting like incorrectly, the opposite of what they need to on both banks, which is making them kind of run, you know.
Not right.
Yeah, not right. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna open the compare of where we started today and mass airflow voltage. So we can now see our differences that I made here. And I am just going to split the difference on every single one of these.
All right, so we halved all the mass airflow values. Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah, half those because
half the differences of what I made.
yeah, half the differences. So before we were too rich, now we were a tad too lean. So we're thinking now we should be right on it.
Should be dead nuts. Honestly, dude, that looks like pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, around 6,000, it starts to dip into the like low 11s, but
That's fine though, because that's higher up, so it's okay if it gets a little rich up
There's
top.
a chance too there, though. We just did 2 back-to-back polls, and it might start be getting into the IAT adder table, because the higher the IAT goes, obviously it's going to pull out time.
Right, right, and we don't have IAT up right now, so we don't know how hot attack's are getting.
It also enriches too.
Right.
So honestly, it looks really good. I mean,
Is this first year?
yep.
Oh man! You gave me no time to react to it. So we just finished up the fueling on the Saleen. It's pretty much dialed in, and we were talking about touching the timing, and then we're like, maybe we shouldn't do that right now. So I think our plan is going to be we're gonna hit the dyno in a couple weeks.
Yeah, just get on the dyno to make sure. I mean, we're only at like 15.7, a hair of 16, but it barely sees 16
Right.
peak, which is super safe, super reliable, and it's kind of soft down low on the head. It's kind of like 11 to 13 degrees. So like super safe, fun. It made decent power, but
And now it's making a little bit more than it was before.
yeah,
Probably 20, right?
Yeah, it's probably picking up like that little bit it lost on the curve where it kind of dipped down, where the fueling just got too rich. It kind of made it back up, at least butt dyno wise. I think we could feel
The
it.
butt dyno says so.
So
yeah.
you know, but it's like, do we add timing now where we can kind of say like, okay, I think I feel there's more horsepower.
Right. But we don't have a scientific way of proving it.
Yeah,
it's
if
just
you go to the dyno and I go and add it from 15 to 19 degrees and it picks up 10 horsepower.
There's no point in running that much
nah,
timing.
pull it all back out, leave it the way it is.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and we can't tell that from our asses.
Yeah, we go do that here and we go melt down a piston. I mean, it won't melt down a piston on one run, but Bradley over here goes and has some fun, you know, and
Yeah, I know, right? Like if I get cocky and say I want to beat this thing, you know, with that blower, which you know you say is so slow, even though it's not. I mean, it probably makes like twice the horsepower my car does, even in its stock form.
In all reality, this car right now, because it's tuned on E85 with the Motac, and it's got a JLT, it's got off-road exhaust, and you know, it's got a bunch of things this makes with the older style blower about what the factory blower makes stock. So I'd say, dyno wise, it's in the high 5s, low 6s right now, which to me, in this car that once made 1300 is dirt shit slow. So, and
it's dragging ass, essentially.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with cars or anything around here, I mean, if you just look at, this is the kind of stuff they build over here at Mustang Lifestyle. So, check out that fat unit right there. And this thing is my street car right here, so.
Yeah, there's OG, just chilling.
I love this car. It's perfect.
Where's the Cobra sitting at?
It's actually in the trailer.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's been chilling there because I was like, parking's kind of
a nightmare.
Covered parking.
Yep.
You know, because this one doesn't have glass from the cage.
Right.
So.
Which is a beautiful color, by the way. This car is.
This one's got to stay inside, so now we're just super limited. And the Cobra I like to keep inside because the top is, you know.
But my absolute favorite, poor Crown Vic is sitting outside.
Yeah,
wasting away.
She's done, bud.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cletus and Cars did not treat her well.
You know, Cletus had faith. He was like, oh, Crown Vic's never going to not start back. Oh, and he was right. It started up.
It did start.
And it was making knocking noise and all sorts of stuff. I was trying to rev it to keep it running, and it wasn't making any power. There's no oil pressure, so that crank was probably spinning, and those bearings were just seizing up.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just done.
Yep. Oh, well.
This one will be fun.
Oh, yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks for getting us dialed in, and we'll meet back up together soon. We'll go hit the dyno. Maybe we'll cook up a little race gas tune, you know.
Yeah.
And
it'll be fun.
And then we'll go gap some fools.
Yeah.
Well, guys, after all of that, we are on our way back home, and we'll see how the car does once we get closer to town. But overall, it seems good so far. I just want to say a huge thanks to Andrew. He's spent a lot of time. He's been an absolute help to me, a huge help. And we plan on doing some more things and kind of just experimenting with the car a little bit, safely, of course. You know, like I said, don't want to blow it up or anything like that. But we're definitely going to get a dyno day scheduled, and we'll both meet up there, and we'll rent the dyno out for an hour or two and just try and make a couple little changes. You know, we don't want to throw in, as he was saying, you know, we don't want to throw in too much timing or throw in any timing if it doesn't actually pick up power from it, or a good amount of power from it. There's no reason to run a bunch of timing in something if it doesn't actually react to it. So we're gonna hit the dyno here soon, and we'll see what she does. But I guarantee you now it's making at least another 15 or 20 to the wheels than it was before. Definitely in the mid-range it's picked up, and I'm sure up top it has too. This is the first time driving it for me since he made his changes, so I'm not quite sure yet, and I don't, truth be told, feel like experimenting with it until I'm closer to home. But just riding along, it felt pretty quick, actually quite a bit quicker than it did before, just with those fueling changes. So, you know, we'll get that scheduled and figure out what we want to do. But for now, we're making good power. We're still reliable as we can get, I hope. And I'm real happy with how the car is doing. So I want to thank Andrew once again for spending so much time and really helping me get this dialed in. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we've got more good content to come very soon. So I will see you guys in the next one.